Good evening. So we are doing the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This is a very interesting and an important chapter. As a recap of last time, what we did was we were discussing about the three words which represent the divine, which is called Om, Tat, Sat. We had done this in the end when we closed chapter 17. So today we are starting a new chapter. This is the summation, the sum total of all the teachings of Shri Krishna. And this has got a lot of significance as far as material worldly people are concerned. Because how to live in this world, what to do, how things have to be done, different parts of karma, what is tyaga, what is renunciation, what it means to become a sannyasi. I think a whole load of things will be discussed. So let us now begin. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 1. Arjuna said, O mighty armed Sri Krishna, O indweller of all, O slayer of Kesi, I wish to know severally the truth of Sanyasa as also of Tyaga. Now, this is a word which is commonly used by people. I want to become a sannyasi. What they do is, there are so many problems in their life that the first thing that they think of is, I will leave everything and I will go away. I have heard my own father speak like this. I want to leave everything and go. And there is a common, notion around that sannyasi means you have given up everything and gone. And then on top of it, if you say that you are going to be in an ashram or a gurukul, or you want to stay with your guru, the first thing that comes to the mind of the material worldly people is, oh, my son or daughter is going to become a sannyasi. Isn't it strange? Now, these two terms are there. What is called as sannyasa on one side and tyaga on the other side. So Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna. He says, can you please explain to me what is the difference between these two? And is there really a difference? That means sannyasa means I have to give up the whole thing and go away somewhere. And tyaga actually means sacrifice. I give up for something else. Alright? But let us see what Krishna has to offer us. So we will do verse 2. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 2. Shri Bhagwan said, some sages understand sannyasa as giving up all the actions motivated by desire. And the wise declare that the tyaga consists in relinquishing the fruit of all actions. So Sri Krishna is always, you see, when he doesn't want to take any credit, but he wants to tell the world, oh, this one is saying like this. He says, I don't say. His way of explanation is when I say. That time Krishna is talking. But just now he is putting the gun on the shoulders of the sages and the saints and some other wise people. Okay, these two. So Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, he says, you see, there are these people, some sages. They understand sannyasa as giving up all actions motivated by desire. The wise declare that tyaga consists in relinquishing the fruit of all action. So on one side, he says, the wise people, what do they say? The sages are there. They are wise people also. So the sages say that if you are becoming a sannyasi, you are just giving up all your desires. Which is also true, of course. If you become a sannyasi, you can't have desires in the material world. You can't say, I want to do this, I want to eat that. You can't do that. No. In an ashram, we teach different things. We don't tell you to become a sannyasi. I don't give that kind of an initiation. No. Because I myself have not been given that. I was out there to do that exactly. I wanted to become a sannyasi, but unfortunately, I was told, you can't be a sannyasi, so finish. I had to take that as a gospel truth. My Gurudev told me, you have to go back. And then I was told, what clothes are you? Because I wanted to wear white color clothes. And I bought some nice white color clothes, saying, oh, this is the clothes of renunciation. Okay, I have to wear them. Where I could wear them. I wore them for just a few, I think a month or two. I don't even remember now. And every time when I looked at my white clothes, I used to get very angry. After some time, I was told, see, you are wearing these white clothes, that's why you get angry. So I said, fine, if white clothes are making me angry, I'll throw them away. So I chucked them away. So then my question to my Gurudev was, now what do I wear? So my Gurudev said, what are you wearing otherwise? So I said, see, I just want to wear 2 pairs of clothes, just not more than that. So I'll wear a t-shirt, okay? And jeans. Jeans, because when I used to work with VNG long, long ago, 1979 for that matter, it was not called PNG, it was called Richardson Merrill. So anyway, when I was working there, I used to live in my jeans. I never used to wash them for a very long period of time because I was a traveling guy, traveling sales guy. So, well, that was my dress. So I told my Guruji, I want to wear jeans and t-shirt. He said, done. I mean, he never said done like this. He said, good, that is good. You can wear that. So I said, then I don't have to stress myself out, if I have to wear a shirt and then, all this kind of things. I said, no, no, no. And the only time I had to buy a pair of shirts was when I went for the interview to get my visa. Okay, visa for America, United States. And 3 times I went and 3 times they threw me out. So I wore a brand new shirt, okay. And I went there for the interview and they said, no, out. Because they wanted somebody with income, somebody who's not going to run away. They think that people like us, we run away and then we become immigrants. Why would I leave India and run away to another country? Doesn't work. So anyway, jokes apart. So let us come back to Krishna, renunciation and tyaga. So the sages say that renunciation means giving up desires. Okay, this is what sages say. And the wise people say tyaga, giving up, means relinquishing the fruit of action. So I can work very hard, and I can just say I don't want any money for that. That becomes a tyag. Okay, tyag means I gave up the ownership kind of thing. And the first one, which is called Sanyasa, it means giving up desire. I don't have any desires. So I don't want to be in the material world. I don't want to, be with the family. I don't want wife, children, this, that, mother, father. So I become a sannyasi. So as per the sages, these are the 2 meanings. The sages say sannyasa is about giving up all desires. Got it? And tyaga means I don't bother about the fruits of my action. So whatever action that I do, I don't go and demand for the fruit of it. So now we do verse 3. So we're doing Srimad Bhagavadgita chapter 18 verse 3. Some wise men declare that all actions contain a measure of evil and are therefore worth giving up, while others say that act of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up. Now these are various theories going around by all these wise men of this world. Krishna is not saying anything over here. Krishna is just giving an example. This is what the wise man says. Oh, this one says like that. Oh, that one says like that. It's like an opinion. Okay. So he's just putting forward everybody's opinion and saying this is what it means. So the wise man says that every action in this world has a measure of evil. Would you agree with it or no? Think about it. Every action of yours is having a measure of evil. So you performing any action means you are doing something evil. You're Dr. Evil. So evil means what? Let us say, did you see that small fly which flew from here just now? Huh? Of course, some of you might have noticed it. I did like this to it. I did some evil. I was trying to show the fly away, the little small fellow. It was a fruit fly. Okay, small guy. Now, if I do like this, I may say I was just trying to make that fly go away. But do you know, if I do just like this, I am actually killing more than a billion of those tiny, tiny, tiny creatures. Would you believe in that? No. So I will tell you a story. A story. See, in our body, especially in our stomach, there is a whole kingdom of creatures, tiny, tiny creatures. They are flourishing literally. You will be amazed to know just your gut contains more than 2 trillion. How many zeros are there in a trillion? Think. 2 trillion of these creatures. They are all called biomi. Okay. So these are tiny creatures inside your body. Alright, now I will tell you something strange about them. Let us say you eat something very, very hot, pungent. You put it in your mouth. You know, when you put it in your mouth, even your lips and your tongue and your whole alimentary canal starts burning. Have you seen that? Now, it goes inside your stomach. Out of these 2 trillion of them, there are lots of those who cannot bear it and they die. Likewise, if I drink liquor, liquor contains ethyl alcohol. Do you know that? Ethyl alcohol. And those who are biology students, some of you may be biology students. We used to use ethyl alcohol for putting all these small creatures under. So, imagine when you are drinking liquor, or maybe half of them are going dead, man. It's so bad, isn't it? For that one swig, you're killing so many of these biomes in your stomach. Now let us go for the worst case scenario. You are popping pills, especially those antibiotics and all that. Now what happens? You're killing a whole host of those creatures inside your stomach. So after you finish your course of, say, antibiotics, have you seen your doctor gives you another tablet with it which says lactobacillus? I'm sure you have seen that. LB, it says LB. Now you will wonder, why is he giving me this? It's because those creatures, you are killing them inside. When you take one pill, that antibiotic doesn't know that that is not a germ that I'm supposed to kill. So he says, okay, let me kill anybody who comes in my way. You know, taking the gun and shooting. So this antibiotic is like that gun. So it kills quite a whole load of these, small creatures inside your body. They form the flora and the fauna in your entire system. They are there in your tongue, in your lips, hands, everywhere, all over your body, from the top of your head to the toe. It is said that the female genitalia is the place where the child gets it first. Alright? So as a kid, small baby, you are inside the womb of the mother. You are getting all these biomes from your mother. Now when you come out as a baby and then you are growing up, you are eating food which your mother gives you, isn't it? She will either feed you with her milk, or later on she will feed you with whatever food that she makes at home. Your gut bacteria, this gut biome that is there, is getting attuned towards that food. Okay, this is on a side note, okay, but I'll come back to the subject of Bhagavad Gita very shortly. But this is for your information and knowledge. Now let us say you eat something out of the way. What happens to you? You get loose motions. You feel sick. You feel tired, isn't it? Now think about it. Suddenly, if you shift your entire system from one kind of a food to another kind of a food, you are taxing your system quite a lot. You are killing all those bacteria inside your stomach. Now tell me, as per the Bhagavad Gita, there is a whole load of evil that you do. Some wise men declare that all actions contain a measure of evil. Just by eating, drinking, or whatever that you do, even if you do like this also, or if you do like this, you try to remove your sweat, or maybe you're trying to straighten your hair. So many of those bacteria, tiny creatures are thrown off. They get killed. When you kiss someone, you are transferring your biome to that person. Got it? And especially, it is in a very, very large quantity in the genitalia. The biome of that person is coming into you. So now think about it. If you are living with a person for many, many years, naturally your habits match, your eating systems, everything matches. Now if you take something else and start eating that, as you become older, you're not supposed to eat a lot of stuff, you know that, because you have become more like a child. So you eat wrong stuff, you get diabetes, you get all kinds of diseases, you have problem ulcers, you have duodenal cancer, cancer of the intestine, all these things are there. This biome keeps you healthy and strong. They do the digestion, and they also produce vitamins and other things. They are capable of producing body stuff which you require. You will be amazed to know that they break down a certain things and they create different kinds of fats. You have the LDLs, HDLs, that is like that. So they create this kind of fats, and because of that you are staying healthy. But if you eat something wrong, or you eat something or you drink something which is not agreeing with you, it is not your regular stuff which you take on a regular basis. Suppose you are used to eating dal rice every day. Sambar rice, sambar rice, sambar rice. In South India, everybody eats sambar rasam rice. And every few days they will have idli, dosa, vada, sambar, idli, dosa, vada, sambar. That's it, they keep on having. So if they suddenly switch over to like a Punjabi food, sir, your biome is going to react very badly. Because it doesn't know how to do Bhangra. You know Bhangra? Punjabis do Bhangra. So in your stomach they are going to do Bhangra, which they don't really understand. They only know Bharatnatyam. So that is the reason why your stomach gets upset, you fall sick. Now let us come back to the Bhagavad Gita. So I have given you an idea that why changing food or food habits or your habits or having multiple partners. If you have multiple partners, your biome changes, there are lots of things happening. You won't even understand that. The future will tell you that. Because you are gathering a lot of gunk and dirt from everywhere. So that's why. So you have to be safe, not sorry. So coming back to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the sages are saying that every act of yours, there is a measure of evil. So eating also has evil in it. If I blink my eyes also there is evil, because so many bacteria are flying away like this. If I do like this also I am doing the same. If I sit on a chair, the chair has got so many tiny creatures which get crushed under my weight. Imagine such a fat person coming and sitting on top of that. And you are that small fellow. So let us say that. Then let us take, for example, the food that we eat. I love bread, let us say. Now you may say, the bread has come from the oven. What creature are you talking about that I killed? Well, don't you know that? You see, those grains were harvested from somewhere. Huh? The grains had certain kinds of small creatures on it, and then they were pounded and made into flour. When it got pounded and was made into flour, that action causes to kill so many billions of creatures. And if you're going to eat that bread or that roti, how many sins are you gathering? There is a lot of evil in that also. So the sages declared that all actions contain a measure of evil and are therefore worth giving up. And that is why the sages give up these actions. Now you will understand. Now think what I said. A sage sits in a same place and a same position for many, many years. He won't even open his eyes. Because if he opens his eyes, there may be a lot of germs which are going to fly off like this in the air, and the poor fellows will hit the ground and they will die, no? He doesn't even shift positions like this, because if he does like that, some jumps over here, some creatures over here will get killed, some creatures over here. So that's why he just sits in one position. Doesn't open his eyes, doesn't lift his finger, doesn't do anything. Now do you get the reason why he does that? Because even if he moves his finger like this, he is killing millions of these creatures, and now you have a tie-up with those creatures. You have formed a karmic bond with those creatures. So whatever you did to them, they will do to you, because everything in this world, if you remember, if you are sattvic, you become a human being. If you are a rajasic person, you become a demon. If you are a tamasic person, if you have tamasic guna in you, then you become a creature. How can you say that that bacteria is not some creature of yours, some forefather of yours? See, now that is the reason why you have to be very careful. So the sage wouldn't even lift his finger, wouldn't even open his eyes. He is closed his eyes once and for all, and he does tapascharya and purifies his body. I hope you got that. So Krishna is saying that some sages say that there is at least some measure of evil in every action that you perform. And that is why they say actions have to be given up. So all actions have to be given up. While others say that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. Now there are some other sages that say you have to keep on doing acts of charity. You have to be a good self. You have to be kind to everybody. You have to help the world around you. You have to do your sacrifices. You have to do your charity. And you have to do penance as well. We have done all these three in the previous chapter, isn't it? I hope you remember that. I don't have to tell you just now again. So there are these three kinds of things which he says: sacrifice, charity, and penance. All three have to be done. So some sages say you cannot give up all activities. These three at least you got to do. So that is the reason why some of the sages, they will do penance. They will do charity. They will build hospitals. They will take care of people. That is why they do that. Some people keep on doing the pujas, the sacrifice. Oh. You know that thing that they do? When Shri Ram was visiting the forest, didn't he meet those fellows? 10,000 of them do performing sacrifices. Exactly. So they perform sacrifice. So some of them perform sacrifice, some of them do charity, some of them do what is called as penance. So all these three things can be done. Now who has said this? The wise people have said. Krishna has still not said anything. Krishna says the wise people have said this. Alright. Now he is going to tell you what he thinks about it. See, remember, Krishna is the supreme divine consciousness, the ultimate Lord, the God, all God, capital G-O-D. His words are final. The other words have been given by all the sages and the saints, the wise people. So now let us hear what he says. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 4. Of Sanyasa and Tyaga. First hear my conclusion on the subject of renunciation, that is Tyaga. Arjuna, for renunciation, O tigers among men, has been declared of three kinds: Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. We come back to the last chapter once again. Now Krishna says to Arjuna, see, I am now going to give you my opinion. What is it that I have to say? So here my conclusion. My conclusion is there. On the subject of renunciation, when you are to renounce, when you are going to do this tyaga. So he says, tyaga are of three types. So renunciation are of three types: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Three kinds of renunciation. So now let us see what he is saying. Okay. So now, Krishna is now going to give his explanation on what is sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic kind of renunciation. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 5. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not worth giving up. They must be performed. For sacrifice, charity, and penance, all these are purifiers of wise men. So now Krishna has given his deepest understanding. Even if you are a sadhu, even if you have become a sannyasi, even if you have gone away to the Himalayas, you should never give up these three activities. First, sacrifice. Second, charity. Third, penance. All these three things have to be done. I'm sure you remember I had started yesterday with the word penance. And I had said penance is not the Western way of looking at it. And Krishna had described penance in Satvik, Rajasic and Tamasic. If you have not understood, please go back and listen to that satsang, then you will get to understand that better. So here in this verse, Krishna says that, okay, let us say you have become a sannyasi. When you become a sannyasi, the understanding is, I will leave everything and I'll go away. And I will sit in some quiet place somewhere and I will do my japa or just keep taking the name of God. Krishna says, no. No. You cannot take sannyasa without doing these three things. So if you are doing renunciation, if you are renouncing the world, these three things have to be a part of your job. Come whatever may. You have to do penance. Okay? You have to do charity. And you have to perform sacrifices. My story. I was sitting with my Gurudev. And I was arguing with him. This happened in 2007. So we were sitting on the Ganga bank and I was arguing with him and I'm saying, I don't care about all these things. I don't want this. You look at my arrogance. Think about how I was talking. I was saying, I don't want any of these things. Why should I go and bother my head about this world? I don't want this world. I just want to check it and just want to go away somewhere. The water looks very tempting, I should jump into the water. My Gurudev was very patient with me. He said, no, you don't understand. Renouncing doesn't mean going and wearing orange color clothes. It doesn't mean going to the Himalayas. It doesn't mean giving up on things. Who has told you this? Look at me. You see, when I looked at him, here was a very young person sitting next to me, a complete avduta, an amazing persona. And he did everything. Being an avduta, he would wander everywhere. And yet, he would participate in everything. As Narasimha Saraswati, he did so much. As Shripad Sri Vallabh, he did so much. As Akkalkot Swami, he did so much. At Sai Baba, I mean, imagine everything he was doing. Whether it was cooking, sitting and talking, spreading the good word, meeting people, elevating the problems of all the poor people and those who were suffering. That was his job. He never told anybody, get out of my way, I want to just take holiday, I want to roam around in the world. He never said that. If somebody was suffering, he would take care of that person. These are the things which my Gurudev did in all his lifetimes. He even was associated with the kings. I mean, think about it. He would work with the kings also. He was an advisor to the king also. He could do everything, and here I am sitting in front of him and I am telling him I don't want to do anything. So pathetic it sounds, isn't it? And here he is guiding me and telling me, no, you have to go back. You are not a renunciate. No. Go back. You're not here to wear orange color clothes. You're not here to wear even white color clothes. I told you about the white color clothes earlier. So you can't wear those clothes. You have to go back in the world. Your job is to teach. Your job is to elevate all the problems of this world. Whoever comes to you, you have to sort out his issues. Of course, when I have to sort out the issues of this world, the body is going to suffer. No doubt about it. The body suffers, of course. Because you take on the karma, you take on the problems of those people, so naturally it suffers. But that is a job which Krishna says you cannot say no to. These are purifiers of wise men. You have to do these jobs. So you are not free. So my Gurudev says, go back. And I refuse. And I said, no, 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 I will not go back. So he said that, what are you saying? It took me 4.5 days to say yes to him. I mean, imagine, I was such a stubborn fellow. It took me 4.5 days to finally agree. But then also I had half-heartedly agreed on it. Then I told him, you want me to go back to my family and stay there? He says, no, you have to do that. Go back. So reluctantly I came back. Not realizing that tomorrow I have to teach Bhagavad Gita. And here I am teaching all this Bhagavad Gita. Imagine that. So, coming back to the story once again, Krishna says, all acts of sacrifice. What sacrifices are there? Sacrifice doesn't just mean that you have to do some puja, part and this and that. No. No. Even eating is a sacrifice. Drinking is a sacrifice. Not drinking all liquor and all basic stuff. Water and all that. Doing every act in complete detached manner you got to do. Hey, think about it. Sai Baba was a non-vegetarian. He would eat meat. But he was the highest detached person. There can be no attachment even to the food that you eat. So you have to perform all sacrifices. So if you are a teacher, if you are a guru, your job is to go and do sacrifices for this world. You have to rub your body so hard, work it, so that you serve this whole universe. It's not a joke. I tell you, day and night you have to do. You have to literally wear out your body. You have to do charity. Charity just doesn't mean giving money. You have to be charitable to everyone. A person may come and he may say, I don't have this and I don't have that. You have to be charitable to that person also. You have to give that person. It is not about deserving, non-deserving, this, that, nothing. Charity is charity. You have to do it. Everything has to be given away, not with an intention that, oh, I gave you this. There is nothing like this. So you got to do charity. And penance. We have done penance. We have to pray to the gods. Right? We have done the word called penance. Do you want me to repeat that whole verse for you? I will repeat it for you. Worship of gods, the Brahmanas, one's gurus, elders, great souls, purity, straightforwardness, continence, and non-violence. These are called penance of the body. We have to do penance of the body, the mind, right? I have done it in the last chapter. Go read it or go study whatever I have said. You can read it once again. So I have to do those things. So penance is a necessity. So I have to bow down to all the gods. So you will find me going to temples and bowing down to every god that is there. Brahmanas, if there is a Brahmana, I will touch that person's feet as well. Knowers of Brahma, you have to bow down to them. To the Guru, yes, of course. And every other thing that I mentioned, we have to do all those things. No exceptions. And this is what Krishna is saying. They must be performed. Even if you become a sannyasi, you are not free to renounce these kind of things. You have to do all these actions. Otherwise, you are a useless sadhu. If you are a sadhu who thinks that, oh, I'm just going to sit in one place and do meditation, you are not doing anything for Krishna, sir. I'm sorry. No qualification, you're out. You can sit for meditation and do whatever you feel like. Doesn't make any difference. These actions have to be done. All acts of sacrifice, charity and penance you should do. Because these are the purifiers of wise men. They purify a person. And the more actions that you do, the more you will get purified. So you have to do those actions, never renounce these things. So we'll now do the next verse. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 6. Hence, these acts of sacrifice, charity and penance, and all other acts of duty too must be performed without attachment and expectation of rewards. This is my well considered and supreme verdict, my dear Arjuna. Here Krishna is not saying that I have listened to this one and that one. No. Krishna's saying, what is Krishna saying? This is my verdict. I have given my answer. That is written in gold. You cannot say, oh, he's just fine. No, no, no. You have to do all these things. It is mandatory for everyone. Those who are on the path of spiritual, you cannot run away from your house and say, I just want to go to the Himalayas and I just want to become a sadhu or a sannyasi. No, sir. Even if you become a sadhu, you have to do these actions. You are not free. So if you just sit in one place and do meditation and all that kind of things, that is not acceptable. Because it is Krishna's verdict. These acts of sacrifice, charity and penance, and all other acts of duty, whatever is your swadharma. What is your swadharma? That swadharma you have to do. It has to be performed without attachment and expectation of reward. So no attachment whatsoever. You have to perform all actions of charity, sacrifice, penance, and whatever is your inborn duty. You have to do it. Examples. Take the case of Kabir. He was a weaver by profession. Till the last day of his life, he was doing the job of a weaver. Take the case of the guru of Mirabai, Raidas. He was doing the action which was necessary, which was his duty. He was a tanner by profession and he did that till his last. Tukaram Maharaj, he was a shopkeeper. He used to sit in the shop till his shop closed down. You have to do that. In my case, I used to be a consultant in marketing, advertising, media studies, those kind of things. So even today, I tell people about these subjects. When someone comes to me, a young person, I will put them on that track of theirs. I will tell them, this is what you can do. Do this, do this, do this. Today it is the world of social media. So I tell them, you have to do this, go do this. I've told people to do podcasting, I've told people to do some advertising, some video films, those kind of things. You have to do. And that is the reason why, even after 2007, when I said to my family, I am not going to be in this business, but I continued to support them. Because it was necessary. It's a part and parcel of Krishna's verdict. Nobody is allowed to go scot-free, including Krishna himself will do the job. You see, Krishna served the purpose till the very end. He was not a sadhu or a Swamiji who would run away. He never ran away. There are lots of these Babajis in this world. They wear orange color clothes and then they think that that is not their job. You are not allowed, sir. You cannot just go to some Himalayan place and sit over there meditating and all that. No. What about the job that you are supposed to do? This is the Bhagavad Gita and these are Krishna's words. They're not some ordinary mortal's words, correct? And here he says, hence the act of sacrifice, charity, penance, and other acts of duties must be performed without attachment. When you are in spiritual, you cannot have any attachments of any kind. That means if you are, say, sending money to your house, you have to send, but without any attachment. Just not because they are your parents and all that. It's because it's a part of the act of duty which you are doing. You have to do it. But you cannot be biased. If there is another person who needs the money, you should be able to give that person as well. This whole world becomes your kutum. Kutum means your family. The whole world is your family. You have to take care of everybody. So in spiritual, you cannot be biased towards some family of yours, some relatives of yours, some wife, your husband, this one or that one. No. No. You owe it to this world. So you have to perform all actions with detachment. If you perform any action with attachment, then you are not in spiritual. Then you have lost the track. Purification of wise men happens when they do it with detachment. Got it? And there should be no expectation of any reward. That means I am doing this so that they can give it to me. No. When you do some act of charity or when you give something over to another person, please do not expect the other person to give something to you. No. If the person is saying, I have given you property and I want you to build a house for me to stay over there, that is not called charity and that is not called giving up. You are doing transactions. And transactions are sattvic, no sattvic, rajasic and tamasic actions. And you are doing it with focused view. There is no renunciation there. And you are always thinking about your end result. You give your property to your children thinking that they will take care of me. No. You give your property, you give everything away so that you are free from it and you are giving it away. But if you are telling that I have given you this property and I want you to take care of me till the very end. No. My verdict, you have to do everything, all acts of sacrifice, charity, penance and your duty with the sense of detachment and without any expectation of any rewards. That is the supreme verdict. Then only it is the purifier of wise men. Then only it is renunciation or tyaga. And if you don't do tyaga, if you don't do renunciation, then you are not even fit for this world. So for all people, those who are on the path of spiritual, do all these actions of sacrifice, charity, penance, and your duty, whatever your duty could be, a swadharma, without any attachment and expectation of reward. This is Krishna's well considered and supreme verdict. It is a verdict. It's not an opinion. Krishna is not giving his opinion. He is telling you the verdict, the final word. So don't go and deny it. Got it? Right. So we go to the next verse. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 7. Prohibited acts and those that are motivated by desire should no doubt be given up. But it is not advisable to abandon the prescribed duty. Such abandonment out of ignorance has been declared as tamasic. So, Krishna is saying something over here. Prohibited acts. You know what are prohibited acts? Before this, I was telling you all a lot of stuff. Huh? So, drinking, this, that, lust and greed and all those are prohibited acts. They should not be motivated by desire. You should not do those kind of actions. Okay? You have to give them up. Here we are talking about other actions. It is advisable not to abandon your prescribed duty. Your swadharma could be anything. You could be a sweeper. You have to do the sweeper's job. You could be a writer. You have to do the writer's job. You could be a teacher, which is your swadharma. You have to be the teacher. This is what my Gurudev was telling me. And this is what I never understood in the beginning. And then later on, when I understood it, I said, I have to do it. And I will do. Wholeheartedly. I have to do all the sacrifices. I have to do the penances. I have to do charity. And I have to do my swadharma. The swadharma that comes with this body. The body has been given as a tool for me to do certain actions in this world, and I have to do them, come whatever may. So those actions have to be performed as per my body. I was asked this question, Swadharma, does it come with the body or does it come with the soul, the spirit soul? I said it doesn't come with the spirit soul. No, it doesn't. It comes with the body that you have got from Mother Nature. Mother Nature has given you eyes to see. Perform an action with the eyes, correct? With the ears to hear. With the mouth to do some action of speaking and eating and all that, right? Now, if you have to become a singer, don't you require a beautiful tongue and a nice voice box? Correct? If you have to become a painter, don't you require very nice fingers for painting? So that is connected to your body. Remember this. Body, senses and mind. All they are connected to each other. So all your swadharma comes with the body that you have acquired. If you have a body of a tiger, then you know what you have to do. If you have a body of a dog, you know what you're supposed to do. So everybody comes with their own swadharma. That swadharma is connected to the body of theirs. Got it? So whatever your body requires you to do, you have to do those actions. Prescribed actions, not the wrong ones. Never do the wrong actions. So swadharma, you have to do. Whatever the swadharma, that means your own, whatever that you do. Why are you here in this world? Because of doing some action, isn't it? That action you have to perform, come whatever may. There are two disciples who used to be with me long ago. One of them was a son of a salt pan owner. You know salt pans. The other one was a goldsmith's son. Both these people are working in some very big IT companies, earning lots and lots of money. They got married. One of them has got married. The father died. The son is refusing to do the work. You are a goldsmith's son. You have the fingers and you have the brain of working in the goldsmith's factory, whatever it is. He believes that working in an IT company for some company, he is going to make millions. In my world, you are cancelled out, sir. You are going to be the biggest sinner because you are not doing your swadharma. You are good in doing gold, gold ornaments and all that. You have to do that. You will make your money also. It's not that you have to do it for money purpose, but you have to do it. The other person is a salt pan owner. You cannot just say, oh, I am working for an IT company, I have to give up. No, you can't give up. Just because you got some M.Tech and all those fancy degrees, just because your parents paid for it, isn't that the salt pan owner who paid for it? Huh? Isn't that the jute worker who was paying for your fees? Huh? Isn't that goldsmith who was paying for your fees? He was not paying so that you become some IT professional and all that. You go back to the roots and do what you're supposed to do. So you do it properly. That is your swadharma. And Krishna here is giving his verdict as well. And he says, if you do not do this prescribed duty and you abandon this prescribed duty, this abandonment out of ignorance is called tamasic ignorance. So you have gone and kicked that thing which I gave you. The body has been given for a purpose and you are doing something completely different. Imagine the tiger says, I don't want to hunt. I am only going to sit and I am going to eat what the zookeeper gives me. Tomorrow he is going to give me artificial meat. I will eat that meat. So did you get the point? If you do not perform the actions for which this body has been given, then because you abandon those actions of whatever that we've discussed earlier, sacrifice, charity, penance, and your swadharma, if you have done it out of ignorance, it is declared as tamasic. So whatever action that you do in the material world, that action will be cancelled out and termed as tamasic action. You know where you are going to go next, isn't it? You're going to be born as a worm or maybe as a Rakshasa. You don't know that. So let us stop over here. We have come to the end of verse 7. We will be continuing from verse 8 tomorrow. So see you all. Take care. Have a great evening and stay safe. Bye.